Have you ever had those times in your life where you wonder if there's a purpose to your life? And if there is a purpose, what is it? And does God even really know what's going on or why he made you? Well, if you've ever felt that way, the verses we're going to cover today in Luke chapter 1 just might speak to you. You see, we're leading up to the birth of John the Baptist. Last week, Jason talked about Zechariah's encounter there with the angel where he told him that John was going to be born. But we're still not there yet. The angel is continuing to speak, and he's talking about who John is going to be, what his life is going to look like, even before he's born. And this, to me, points out the fact that God cares about the purpose of John's life and what's going to happen to him and the details of it even before he's born. And he cares about your and my life in the same way. Now you see, this angel in these next verses uses a lot of the same statement over and over. It just occurred to me reading it, it stuck out. He uses this phrase, he will. And when he's speaking about John the Baptist, he's talking about what his life is going to look like and what is going to go on in his life. In each of these statements, he says things like he will be filled with the Holy Spirit. He'll turn many Israelites to the Lord. He'll be a man with the spirit and power of Elijah. He will prepare the people for the coming of the Lord. He will turn the hearts of fathers to their children. He will cause those who are rebellious to accept wisdom of the godly. And all these statements, he's saying what John the Baptist will eventually do in his life. But if you notice, one thing he's not saying is how he's going to do it. And that really spoke to me because in our lives, we're called to do something that John the Baptist did his whole life. We haven't got there yet in his story. We will down the road a bit. But that one thing, the purpose of John the Baptist's life was to point people towards Jesus. And John was very good at knowing his place in this world, knowing that that was his mission, to point people towards Jesus. It's not about me, it's about him. And that's one big takeaway I think we can have from these verses here, that God does have a purpose and a plan for John's life. He's got a purpose and a plan for your life, and he's got a purpose and a plan for my life. And that is to point the way to Jesus. Point others to Jesus in everything we do. The details of that don't really matter. We can do it at our job. We can do it in our home. We can do it to people we encounter on the street. But that is our purpose, and God does care about that. I can assure you. And with that, what more is there to say? So let's remember that there is a purpose to our life, and that is to point people to Jesus. And I encourage you to do that this week. We'll catch you next week on Wednesday Wisdom.